The last rays of sunlight painted the Atacama Desert in shades of gold and crimson as Dr. Maya Patel stared at the quantum readings on her holographic display. Something wasn't right, or perhaps, something was finally right. The anomaly she'd been tracking for months had appeared again, but this time it was stable, persistent, and completely defying the laws of physics as humanity understood them. The underground facility, known only as Station Zero to the handful of people cleared to know of its existence, hummed with the sound of cooling systems and quantum processors. Maya's fingers danced across the holographic interface, her heart racing as she confirmed the readings for the third time. Dr. Patel? Lieutenant James Cooper's voice carried a note of concern. The military liaison had been stationed at the facility for 2 years, and he'd never seen the usually composed quantum physicist this animated. Should I call Director Morrison? Maya nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. Yes, and get Dr. Ramirez from Theoretical Applications. He needs to see this too. She paused, allowing herself a small smile. We've done it, James. We've actually done it. Within an hour, the facility's main research chamber was filled with the project's key personnel. Director Eva Morrison, a former NASA administrator with more gray in her hair than black, studied the data with narrowed eyes. Dr. Rafael Ramirez, brilliant and barely 30, kept adjusting his glasses as if that would somehow make the impossible numbers make sense. It's not just theoretical anymore, Maya explained, bringing up a three-dimensional model of the quantum field they'd generated. We've created a stable quantum displacement field. An object inside this field exists in multiple states simultaneously, not just at the particle level, but at a macroscopic scale. In English, please, Morrison requested, though her expression suggested she already understood the implications. We've found a way to make objects exist everywhere and nowhere at once, Maya said, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what she was describing. More importantly, we can control it. Direct it. Weaponize it. The word hung in the air like a physical thing. They all knew why Station Zero had been built, why billions in black budget funding had been poured into this research. The long-range telescopes had been picking up concerning signals for years, massive objects moving between the stars, patterns that couldn't be natural. Humanity wasn't alone in the universe, and they needed to be ready. How quickly can we scale this up? Morrison asked, ever practical. Maya shared a look with Ramirez before answering. The principles should work at any scale. The challenge will be power generation and field stability. But with proper funding and resources. She took a deep breath. We could have a working prototype for a ship-based system within 18 months. You have 6, Morrison replied, already reaching for her secure phone. I'm calling the Joint Chiefs. Whatever resources you need, you'll have them. She paused at the door, looking back at the team. The signals are getting closer, Dr. Patel. We need this to work. As the others filed out, Maya turned back to her displays. The quantum field pulsed with an almost hypnotic rhythm, defying everything she'd been taught was possible. She thought about the signals, about the unknown vessels crossing the vast distances between stars, and about humanity's chances of survival if they turned out to be hostile. Lieutenant Cooper approached her workstation, his expression serious. Do you think we can really do this? Build a working system in 6 months? Maya studied the quantum field readings, watching as they danced and shifted in patterns that seemed almost alive. We have to, she replied simply. Because if we don't, and those signals are what we think they are, humanity might not get a second chance. In the depths of the Atacama Desert, behind layers of security and secrecy, humanity's greatest technological leap forward pulsed with possibilities. The quantum displacement field represented more than just scientific progress, it was a shield, a sword, and possibly the only thing that would stand between Earth and whatever waited among the stars. Maya Patel turned back to her work. They had 6 months to change the course of human history. She intended to use every second of it. The massive vessel appeared at the edge of the solar system without warning. One moment, Jupiter's orbital monitors showed empty space. The next, something larger than any human-made structure in history hung against the backdrop of stars. Global defense networks lit up like Christmas trees, and every military installation on Earth went to high alert. Admiral Thomas Chen stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, watching as real-time data streamed in from deep space sensors. "What are we looking at?" he asked, his voice carefully neutral despite the tension in the room. Commander Aisha Khan, head of First Contact Protocols, studied the readings with intense focus. The vessel's approximately 12 kilometers in length. Energy signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. And... She paused, double-checking her data. "They're broadcasting." The message came in all frequencies, in perfect English and every other major Earth language. "Greetings, children of Earth. We are the hegemony, and we come in peace." That was 6 months ago. Now, Admiral Chen watched from the bridge of the UES Defender as another human colony burned. The hegemony's true nature had revealed itself slowly, carefully, like a predator stalking its prey. First came the cultural exchange programs, the sharing of basic technologies that seemed miraculous to human understanding. Then came the subtle suggestions about Earth's governance, the hints that perhaps humanity would benefit from more direct guidance from their more advanced cousins. When Earth's governments had politely declined, the hegemony showed its real face. "Status report," Chen barked, watching as escape pods launched from the burning research station orbiting Mars. 37 ships lost in the last hour, his tactical officer reported grimly. "The hegemony's quantum phase weapons cut through our best shields like they don't exist. We're evacuating civilians as fast as we can, but..." She didn't need to finish the sentence. Chen's secure comm chirped, a direct line from Earth Command. He answered, already knowing what he would hear. "This is Chen. Authorization code, Phoenix Rising," the voice on the other end said without preamble. "Project Aurora is ready. Get your fleet back to Earth. Now." Chen's heart skipped a beat. Project Aurora, Dr. Patel's quantum displacement technology, weaponized and mounted on a warship. The project had been accelerated when the hegemony revealed its true intentions, with every available resource diverted to its completion. "All ships, emergency recall," Chen ordered. "Maximum burn for Earth. Initiate scatter protocol Delta." The remnants of his fleet didn't question the order, immediately breaking formation and taking random vectors back toward their home planet. The hegemony ships, massive and eerily beautiful, didn't pursue immediately. They never did. They seemed to enjoy letting their prey think they had escaped. As the Defender accelerated toward Earth, Chen received a heavily encrypted data packet. Inside was a single image, a ship unlike anything humanity had built before. The USS Aurora, humanity's first and only quantum displacement warship. Its sleek lines and crystalline structures seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, and even in a still image, it seemed to shift and blur, as if it couldn't quite decide where or when it wanted to exist. "Send a message to all remaining military commands," Chen ordered. "Tell them to hold on. Help is coming." He studied the image of the Aurora, remembering his conversation with Dr. Patel months ago, before the hegemony revealed its true nature. She had warned him that the technology was unpredictable, that they were dealing with forces they barely understood. But understanding had become a luxury humanity could no longer afford. The hegemony had made their intentions clear: Earth would submit to their rule, or Earth would burn. They had already demonstrated their power, destroying the lunar colonies and turning Mars's largest settlement into a smoking crater. The Defender shuddered as it pushed its engines beyond their safe limits. Behind them, the first hegemony pursuit vessels appeared on their sensors, massive ships moving with impossible grace for their size. But for the first time in months, Chen felt something other than despair. The Aurora was ready. And with it, humanity would show the hegemony that underestimating Earth had been their greatest mistake. As his ship raced toward Earth, Chen thought about the millions already lost, the colonies destroyed, the lives shattered by an enemy that saw humanity as little more than insects to be crushed or cattle to be herded. The hegemony had superior technology, superior numbers, and the experience of countless conquered civilizations. But they had never faced humans with their backs against the wall. They had never seen what Earth could do when its very survival was at stake. And they had never encountered anything like the Aurora. The game was about to change. The only question was whether humanity had enough time left to change it. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility carved into the seafloor, Captain Diana Wei stood before the viewport, watching as automated construction drones swarmed around humanity's last hope. The Aurora took shape in the massive underwater dock, its quantum crystalline hull simultaneously reflecting and absorbing the powerful floodlights that illuminated the construction space. The quantum core is stable, Dr. Maya Patel reported, her holographic presence flickering beside Wei. We're seeing displacement field strengths far beyond our initial projections. The scientist's avatar gestured, bringing up a complex array of data streams. The ship isn't just equipped with quantum technology, it's built around it. Every system, every component is designed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Wei nodded, her expression thoughtful. At 42, she had been handpicked to command the Aurora, chosen for her combination of tactical brilliance and adaptable thinking. And the crew? How will we function inside a ship that exists in multiple quantum states? The central command module maintains a stable quantum bubble, another voice answered. Dr. Viktor Petrov, the project's lead engineer, approached the viewport. His normally pristine lab coat was stained with coolant fluid and quantum residue. The crew will experience normal spacetime, while the ship around you, well, that's where things get interesting. Wei had studied the theoretical briefings, but seeing the Aurora take shape made the reality of what they were attempting hit home. The ship was beautiful in an alien way, its hull composed of crystalline structures that seemed to flow like liquid metal. Traditional sensors had trouble even detecting it, as the quantum displacement field caused the vessel to exist in multiple states simultaneously. We've assembled your crew, Director Morrison announced, joining them at the viewport. The best of the best, chosen from what remains of Earth's fleet. They're being briefed now. She handed Wei a secure tablet. You have 12 hours to review their files before they arrive. Wei scrolled through the crew manifest, noting the exceptional qualifications of each selected officer. Lieutenant Commander Kai Martinez, one of the few survivors of the Mars Defense Fleet, would serve as tactical officer. Dr. Elena Santos, whose work on quantum computing had revolutionized the field, would handle the ship's unprecedented AI systems. Each crew member had been chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think beyond conventional limitations. The hegemony fleet is continuing its advance, Morrison reported grimly. We've lost contact with the outer colonies. The lunar defense grid is gone. We estimate no more than 72 hours before they reach Earth. The ship isn't fully tested, Petrov warned. We're pushing the boundaries of physics here. The quantum displacement field is stable, but we don't fully understand all its properties. Understanding is a luxury we no longer have, Wei replied, echoing Admiral Chen's words from months ago. We launch in 24 hours. Ready or not. The next day passed in a blur of activity. Crew members arrived in small groups, each bringing specialized knowledge crucial to the Aurora's operation. Wei watched them settle into their roles, noting how quickly they adapted to the strange environment of a quantum-displaced vessel. Lieutenant Commander Martinez stood at the tactical station, running combat simulations. The quantum state makes traditional targeting impossible, he reported. But it also means conventional weapons can't lock onto us. We're effectively a ghost ship. A ghost ship with teeth, Dr. Santos added from her position at the quantum computing core. The AI is learning to predict quantum state fluctuations. We can choose when and where we want to fully materialize. The hegemony won't know what hit them. Wei walked the corridors of her new command, feeling the subtle vibration of the quantum core beneath her feet. The Aurora was unlike any vessel humanity had ever built, part warship, part scientific miracle, part desperate gamble. In less than 48 hours, they would face an enemy that had already demonstrated the power to destroy worlds. But as she watched her crew work, saw their determination and innovation, Wei felt something she hadn't experienced since the hegemony revealed its true nature: hope. The Aurora wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's message to the galaxy. A declaration that Earth would not go quietly, would not submit to tyranny, would not be erased from existence without a fight. Final systems check, Wei ordered, returning to the bridge. I want every quantum circuit, every weapon system, every piece of technology we've borrowed from the laws of physics tested and ready. When we face the hegemony, we get one chance. One opportunity to show them that humanity isn't as helpless as they thought. The Aurora hummed with power, its quantum core pulsing with energy that defied conventional physics. In the darkness of the deep ocean facility, humanity's most advanced creation prepared for war. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of human existence itself. The Aurora emerged from Earth's ocean depths like a leviathan rising from myth, water cascading off its crystalline hull as it ascended through the atmosphere. In high orbit, the hegemony's advance fleet had already begun their preliminary bombardment, their massive ships positioning themselves for Earth's execution. Captain Diana Wei stood at the Aurora's command center, watching tactical displays that showed the overwhelming odds they faced. 12 hegemony dreadnoughts, each capable of reducing a continent to ash, supported by countless smaller vessels. The remains of Earth's defense fleet had been scattered or destroyed, leaving nothing between humanity's homeworld and total annihilation. Nothing except the Aurora. Quantum displacement field at maximum stability, Dr. Santos reported from her station, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. The AI is predicting field fluctuations with 99.7% accuracy. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Lieutenant Commander Martinez's tactical display showed the hegemony fleet's firing solutions, all of them passing harmlessly through the space the Aurora simultaneously occupied and didn't occupy. They can't get a lock on us, he confirmed, a note of grim satisfaction in his voice. We're a ghost in their targeting systems. Then it's time to show them what ghosts can do, Wei said, her voice steady despite the weight of humanity's survival resting on their next actions. Battle stations. Prepare for quantum-shifted combat operations. The Aurora's quantum core pulsed, the ship's very existence becoming a probability rather than a certainty. To traditional sensors, it appeared to be everywhere and nowhere at once, a phantom that defied the laws of physics themselves. Hegemony vessels are launching their first strike, Martinez reported as massive energy beams lanced toward Earth's surface. Targeting their lead dreadnought. Execute attack pattern Quantum 1, Wei ordered. The Aurora responded with impossible grace, simultaneously existing at multiple points around the hegemony flagship. The alien vessel's advanced shields, designed to stop any conventional attack, meant nothing to a ship that could strike from multiple realities at once. The Aurora's quantum-phased weapons pierced through the dreadnought's defenses as if they weren't there, striking critical systems with surgical precision. Direct hits confirmed, Martinez announced as the massive alien ship's power core destabilized. They're breaking apart, Captain. First blood is ours. The hegemony fleet's response was immediate and devastating, or would have been, if any of their weapons could touch the Aurora. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and exotic particle weapons passed through the human vessel like it was made of smoke. The quantum displacement field bent reality itself around the ship, making it impossible to predict where it would materialize next. They're adapting, Dr. Santos warned, studying the quantum readings. Their targeting systems are attempting to compensate for our quantum shifts. The AI is countering, but they're learning faster than we anticipated. Wei nodded grimly. They had expected this. The hegemony hadn't conquered countless civilizations by being slow to adapt. Implement Santos Protocol Beta. Let's show them something new. The Aurora's quantum field pulsed in a new pattern, one that Dr. Santos had theorized but never tested in combat. Instead of existing in multiple states, the ship began to create quantum echoes of itself, perfect copies that existed for microseconds before dissolving back into probability. The hegemony fleet's formation broke as they tried to track dozens of potential targets, each appearing real until the moment of engagement. In their confusion, they failed to notice the real Aurora slipping through their defensive screen. We have firing solutions on 3 of their support vessels, Martinez reported. Quantum-phased weapons ready. Fire at will, Wei commanded. The Aurora's weapons struck with impossible precision, each shot existing in quantum superposition until the moment of impact. 3 hegemony vessels erupted in silent explosions, their advanced technology useless against an attack that seemed to ignore the very laws of physics they relied upon. "Captain," Dr. Santos called out, her voice tense. "The quantum core is showing unusual fluctuations. The field is becoming unstable." Wei had known this was a possibility. They were pushing experimental technology far beyond its tested limits. "How long can we maintain combat operations?" 10 minutes, maybe less, Santos replied. "After that, we risk a complete quantum field collapse." Wei studied the tactical display. They had destroyed 4 hegemony vessels and damaged 3 others, but 8 remained combat capable. More importantly, they had shown the aliens something they had never seen before, a human ship that could fight them on equal terms. "Send a message to Earth Command," Wei ordered. "Transmit all combat data. They need to know this works." She paused, watching as another hegemony vessel tried and failed to target them. "Then plot a course out of the system. We've proven the concept, now we need to make sure we survive to use it again." The Aurora phased through space itself, leaving behind a battlefield that would change the course of the war. The hegemony fleet, for the first time in their long history of conquest, had faced something they couldn't simply overwhelm with superior technology. They had faced human ingenuity, and they had lost. The heart of hegemony space was a marvel of alien engineering, a massive artificial star system where planets had been rearranged to form a perfect geometric pattern of power and control. At its center hung the Nexus, the vast command structure from which the hegemony had orchestrated the subjugation of 1,000 worlds. They had never expected to find a human ship in their most secured sector. The Aurora hung in the void like a quantum ghost, its crystalline hull shifting between states of existence as it approached the massive command station. In the 3 months since its first battle, the ship had evolved. Dr. Santos and her team had refined the quantum displacement field, allowing for longer operational periods. More importantly, they had learned to harness the quantum fluctuations that had once threatened to tear the ship apart. "Hegemony defense grid is activating," Lieutenant Commander Martinez reported from his tactical station. "Counting over 300 capital ships, with more arriving. They're forming a containment pattern." Captain Wei studied the tactical display with calm focus. The enemy vessels moved with perfect coordination, their formations designed to leave no avenue of escape. Under normal circumstances, it would have been an impossible situation. But the Aurora had long since left normal behind. "Dr. Santos, status of the quantum core?" Wei asked, watching as the trap closed around them. "Operating at 127% of designed capacity," Santos replied, her fingers dancing across quantum-shifted controls. "The AI has integrated all our combat experiences. We're not just avoiding their targeting systems now, we're predicting them." The first wave of hegemony weapons fire passed through the Aurora like light through a prism, the ship existing in too many states simultaneously to be affected by any single attack. But this time, instead of simply evading, the Aurora responded. Executing Quantum Strike Protocol Alpha, Martinez announced. The aurora seemed to multiply, quantum echoes spreading across space like ripples in a pond. Each copy was both real and unreal, existing in a state of superposition until the moment of impact. Hegemony vessels, their advanced shields useless against attacks that came from multiple quantum states simultaneously, began to fall. They're attempting to adapt, Santos warned, studying the quantum readings. Their ships are generating some kind of phase-shifted field. They're trying to match our quantum frequency. Wei had expected this. The hegemony hadn't survived this long by being slow to adapt. Implement Santos Protocol Omega, she ordered. Show them what human innovation really means. The Aurora's quantum core pulsed with new patterns, ones that Dr. Santos had developed during their long journey to the heart of hegemony space. Instead of trying to exist in multiple states, the ship began to manipulate the quantum state of space itself around it. Hegemony vessels found their own quantum phase technologies turning against them, their attempts to match the Aurora's capabilities creating feedback loops that shattered their carefully maintained formation. In the chaos, the Aurora struck with surgical precision, its weapons finding vital systems through quantum spaces that shouldn't have existed. Message from the Nexus, Communications Officer Park announced, surprise evident in his voice. They're requesting communication. For the first time since the invasion of Earth began, the hegemony wanted to talk. The alien leader appeared on the main view screen, its crystalline form shifting with what Wei recognized as agitation. How? It demanded without preamble. How has your species achieved this level of quantum manipulation? Our scientists claimed it was impossible. Humanity has a habit of doing the impossible, Wei replied calmly, even as the Aurora continued to exist in multiple states around the hegemony fleet. Especially when our survival depends on it. You could have used this technology to destroy us, the alien leader observed. Instead, you came here, to our center of power. Why? To deliver a message, Wei answered. Earth is not yours to conquer. Humanity is not yours to subjugate. We have shown you a fraction of what we're capable of when pushed to our limits. The question now is, how much more do you want to see? The quantum readings showed more hegemony ships arriving, but they maintained their distance. The Aurora had demonstrated something that had shaken the very foundation of their empire, a technological leap that shouldn't have been possible from a primitive species. The hegemony has never negotiated with lesser species, the alien leader stated, but there was uncertainty in its tone. Then perhaps it's time for the hegemony to evolve, Wei suggested. As we have. The silence that followed stretched across quantum states, a moment of decision that would reshape the galaxy. Finally, the alien leader spoke again. We will discuss terms. As the diplomatic channels opened and the weapons fell silent, Wei thought about the long journey that had brought them here. From Dr. Patel's first quantum breakthrough in the desert to this moment, humanity had done more than just survive. They had forced one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy to reconsider its fundamental assumptions. The Aurora hung in space, simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. They had taken the impossible and made it real, transformed theory into salvation, and shown the galaxy that humanity would forge its own path among the stars. The war was over. The real challenge, building a future where humans and aliens could coexist as equals, was just beginning. But as Wei looked at her crew, saw the pride and determination in their eyes, she knew they would face that challenge as they had faced all others, with innovation, courage, and the unshakable belief that the impossible was just another problem waiting to be solved.